The game industry is undergoing a big change. Big companies lay off staff, while small indie game companies find new ways to create engaging games. The amount of entry-level open positions within the industry is lower than ever before, and newcomers struggle to find ways to get their foot into the companies. Many people graduate from school or get laid off as a junior just to discover that there are very few opportunities available for someone who doesn't have that much of experience. To get the experience, you would require work. But to get the work, you need the experience. It's a very demotivating situation which, unfortunately, affects many in the industry right now. So, how does one keep themselves gathering worthy experience to leverage the opportunities in obtaining a job? Obviously, there are multiple ways to achieve that, but one unpopular opportunity is still lacking enough exposure, teaching, and practices. And that opportunity is being a solo game developer. Being a solo game developer does not require you to throw everything away to focus on it. It does not even need any real investments to get going with your first commercial game. But it needs to be commercial. The reason for that is simple. You need to be able to ship commercial games to consider that experience as valid for the job search. Game jams and such are good starters, but for someone to consider your efforts more valuable, it needs to be a product that is released on the most known markets, be it Steam, Google Play, or the App Store. But it needs to be created in a way that you're at least trying to make a game that will obtain players. By doing so, you won't only convince people of your ability in building games that have players, but it also enables you to learn better and concrete practices that are required to achieve that. And that knowledge is the most powerful one out there. What kind of genres people play? What kind of features do players expect to see? How much polish does your game require on those chosen markets to stand out? How do you find players and engage with them? How do you design and scope your game to be able to actually ship it within a reasonable amount of time? When making a game as a solo game developer, these and many other things need to be considered. It is the most advanced learning journey I think every developer should experience at least once in their career. You're not able to skip any part of it, since you need to do it all yourself. Yes, it may feel like an exhausting amount of things you need to do, but that's the beauty of the whole journey. How do you structure it in a way that you're able to ship it within a chosen time period? Be it 2 months, half a year, or maybe a full year, whatever is your timeline, it will never be enough. There will still be things that you could have done better or reserve more time for. So because of this, the actual challenge comes in designing processes and practices that you're able to go through and ultimately ship that game. It will not be perfect. It will have a lot of flaws. There won't be as much content that you wanted, and the graphics won't be as outperforming as you expected them to be. But in the end, one thing is inevitable during this journey, and that is the learning you'll get. Now, instead of me giving more advices on the journey itself, maybe we should do it together. I'm going to present my own timeline for the next very fast project of mine, and I'm going to execute it. You can either join me on this, or just follow my ongoing to get hopefully inspired. I'm going to try and make a game during March 2025, and this will be a commercial game. The pre-production of the game will start at the end of February, and the game will be available on itch.io once I get some playable. By the end of March, I'm going to publish a demo of the game and promote it to get reactions and feedback. I'm going to actually follow my 10-step method that I presented in my previous YouTube video to validate my game project. You can watch that video on my YouTube channel. And no, I won't be crunching the whole time. I won't be spending sleepless nights to get the game working. I'm actually going to use a couple of hours per day to develop it. Why? Because I want to find ways to keep the development sustainable, as something I could work for years, not weeks. I have designed methods and practices that may be the key to achieve such. Obviously, I've never tried these 100%, so it will be a rather interesting journey for myself to see how these perform. These methods not only affect the upcoming game, but as my career as a solo game developer. And maybe this approach, or the career of mine, could be something you could try as well. But as a solo game developer, my upcoming journey is not that simple. Since I cannot trust that any of my products reach even close good sales, I need to be able to prepare for the upcoming projects as well. I'm going to share very openly what my current status is with the games I've developed so far from November 2024 to this date. I want to show this since it may be better for you to understand how I run things in general. This plan of mine will hopefully work as an example for you to understand my process, why I do it, what are the actual things I focus on, and such. But because I want to keep these podcasts rather easy to digest, I'm going to split these into 2 videos. The next part is already available on my Patreon, but will soon come available on YouTube as well. Maybe consider joining my Patreon as a free member to get access it up front. Please subscribe to the channel and like the video to help me reach more awesome developers like yourself. So see you in the next video, and I hope to see you in my Patreon as well. Have a great week ahead. Cheers, thank you, and bye-bye.